يا حامل القرآن قد خصك الرحمن بالفضل والتيجان.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, and salam alaikum. Peace be upon you. And what about questions? Do we have any questions today? Anybody want to give us a good question? We're here right now for that purpose. Just ask Islam. And that's where you get the answers from, isn't it? We have with us Sheikh Ahmed. He's coming all the way from California with us. Salam alaikum, Sheikh. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing great. Praise be to Allah.
Well, it sounds like you're doing pretty good. I can hear you really clear. I'm putting you on a speaker phone along with whoever's going to call in, so I don't know if this is going to work because I haven't done it this way before. But I'm the best at rigging this kind of junk up. I'm a rigger from way back.
Yes, sir. Improvising is the name of the game.
Improviso. That's me, the improviso. Now, guys, we're going to put the phone number up on the screen, 1-800-651-4814 if you give us a call. And Sheikh is ready to answer your questions. Sheikh, by the way, I want to ask you today about something. It's been going on for a few weeks or at least a few days. They say that they've found a Quran, at least pieces of a Quran, stuck inside of another manuscript in the UK. Have you heard about that story?
Yes, sir. I've read a few articles actually about the subject. Something about in the manuscript section of Birmingham University in the UK.
Yeah.
They found some historic manuscripts of the Quran, the scripture of Islam.
Yeah, and the thing about it, I'm not surprised that they will find old manuscripts, even that as far back. They're saying, did you catch this? They're saying that they carbon dated it, and that they gave the age of the because it was this was written on animal skin. They believe it to be a sheep or a goat, and they said they could carbon date it, and they put it in the time period that was kind of scary to me, because they said from about 570 to, I think they said 645, which is definitely the Prophet ﷺ was born in 570, and then I think he passed away maybe just a few years before that, the latter date that they gave. So that seems strange to me. Do you think that there's that's valid? Is that something that is that important, is my question.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I'm not an expert in the carbon dating. There is no way for us to substantiate the finding. So it's something actually more for the people who don't believe in the Quran. It's something for them as a sign, to kind of ponder over and realize that this is the same book that Muslims claim.
Yeah, I think we got a call. Let's come back to that. I'm going to take the call right now. Salam alaikum, caller. You're on the air with us right now here on Guidance TV. Where are you calling from? Oh, I forgot to turn the speaker on. I got a new thing on my phone. I don't know how to work it. Salam alaikum, caller.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sheikh Yusuf, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
This is Abdul from Gainesville. I'm sure you already know me by now.
MashaAllah, how is everything there?
Alhamdulillah, raining all day, but alhamdulillah. Sunny, hot sometimes rainy, but alhamdulillah, no complaint.
Well, Florida is supposed to be like that, right?
Yeah, so when are you going to come visit us?
Well, we need an official visit, and then we'll come down there. That sounds good to me. Listen, we got Sheikh Ahmed on the...
I'm trying to tell it to you. Exactly. So I'm calling for Sheikh Ahmed. The question is, I go to the mosque a lot for prayer, and I see brothers brothers praying really fast, and I want to say something, and if I don't, will I be questioned in Yom Al Qiyamah, Judgment Day?
Because the imam is going too fast for you, is that it?
No, I see some brothers. They do sunnah and they go really fast. The 2 rakah. And
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's something like that. I think, you're talking about somebody else's sunnah. I don't know if you want to blurt it out to him or not. Let's ask Sheikh Ahmed. Sheikh Ahmed, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
We have another Ahmed on the phone, was down in Jacksonville in Florida. And he's suffering from all the rain that comes down there every summer. But his question, I believe his question is talking about brothers who are doing their rakahs rather fast and their sunnah prayers there in the masjid. What advice would you give him? Should he advise them? Or if so, how? Or what should he do?
Okay, so may Allah reward the brother. I think his concern is a valid concern. May Allah reward him because the believer, whenever they see something that may not be correct, should at least have some type of feeling towards it. But now, the procedure of how we deal with people's mistakes is another story. So what I recommend is if he's not an authority figure in the mosque that he attends, and he's not a teacher there, then he may pass this information along to the imam, to the local scholar, to the community, the knowledge individual or the knowledgeable individual around, and have him kind of address the subject indirectly, not necessarily attacking individuals. This was the method of the messenger. He would hear about somebody doing something wrong, and then he would go up, give a lecture, and then he would say, why do some people do such and such? But he would not point the finger and hurt people's feelings, because the feelings and the emotions and the hearts of the believers are precious, and we should never abuse or hurt them in any way, shape, or form. Even if they're doing something wrong, there's always a better way to deal with the situation. Matter of fact, I was listening to something yesterday, and one of our local imams here said something nice. He said, before you correct, you should connect. Connect before you correct, which is try to get to know the person. Maybe they have no idea what they're doing. Maybe they were in a hurry. Maybe they never learned the proper way, and so on and so forth. So before we're too fast and too quick in pointing out people's mistakes, let's sit back, evaluate the situation, and see what the best method of correcting people's mistakes are. And I highly recommend that we review a book by the title, How the Messenger of Allah Corrected Other People's Mistakes. We'll learn quite a lot about the prophetic method of basically teaching people in the most appropriate of ways, with mercy, with love, with empathy, and with concern. That's the method of the messenger. But we should never hurt people's feelings or make them seem like they have no idea what they're doing, because they're only trying to do something good. When they're praying in the mosque, they're trying to do something good, drawing near to Allah, but maybe they have some deficiencies, some imperfections. So the authority figure in the mosque should address it in general terms. And if the brother wants to address it, then he should get to know the individual, try to gain their trust, and share the information with them in the most loving fashion, in the most respectful fashion, not necessarily to point out their mistakes, but maybe read something together and say, let's read some hadith about how to perform the prayer. Let's read the description of the Prophet's prayer and how he used to take his time and not be in a hurry. But don't directly point out the finger and point out the mistakes. No one likes that. No one appreciates that. More, they say something that you can attract way more bees with honey than you can with vinegar. So even if you have something good to say, if your method of approaching it is not good, people are not going to accept it. So may Allah reward the brother for his concern, but I think we should be very careful before we jump on other people and their deficiencies, and there's different ways of approaching it without being very direct. That's all.
Good
all I have to
answer.
say about
Good.
this.
Brother Ahmed, did that give you a good answer for what you needed?
Jazakallah khair, Jazakallah khair. Sheikh Yusuf, that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to say it, because I didn't want to hurt the brother's feeling. And I call you a lot. My name is Abdul Noor.
Abdul Noor. I'm sorry. I thought you said your name is Ahmed.
And I have your sticker. I have your sticker on the back of my car. So alhamdulillah, I'm doing the da'wah by having the sticker. Just to let you know. So, and mashallah, you are actually inspired my wife. My wife's a converted Muslim. And alhamdulillah, we watch you a lot. And may Allah reward you. And may Allah, all of us, make us meet in Jannat al-Firdausa.
MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair. I agree with that immediately. I'd love to go to Jannat Firdausa Allah. Listen, you gave me a good chance to give a little free ad for Guidus TV. If anybody would like to order this, you can sure do that, guys. Anybody who makes any donations tonight, tomorrow, we are sending out this bumper sticker along with it. Also, if anybody orders the free Quran at a my tongue is tied up around my eye teeth and I can't see what I'm saying. Anyway, so yeah, we've got these stickers. We want to send them out. If you order the free Quran on afreequran.com, or if you make a donation on Donate to Islam, we will be sending that out. By the way, how long have you had it on your car, Abdul Noor?
I had it about now a little bit, 2 months. Yeah, 2 months.
Has anybody said anything about it?
Oh yeah, I have non-believers asking me questions, and they're wondering what does that mean. I tell them, go in the website, you will know exactly what it means. And also, of course, I explain to them. I'm not really a good scholar, but I explain to them what it means. Alhamdulillah, it means it's actually doing a da'wah by having the sticker on your car.
Well, you know, did you hear about the one in upstate New York that he had one of these in the back of his car? On the window, and the guy came and he was looking through the window of his back of his car, and he said, "Hey, what does that mean?" He hadn't even put it on the car yet. He said, "Worship the Creator, not the creation." They got into a discussion. He gives me a call next day, or that weekend I was up there, and he invited him over, and he did Shahada.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
Next day,
you know, it's funny. I would say, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the next day. Believe it, Abdul Noor, the man sent us a text message. He said, "This is the best day of my life."
La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah, it's. I mean, you know, people just need to know. Past this last 10 days of Ramadan, I went to visit Atlanta, Georgia. There's a brother that, alhamdulillah, did a da'wah 8 years ago, and he converted. And this was maybe the second time I met him after he converted. MashaAllah. I mean, the brother jumped on me and thanked me, and he is a fully practiced. He finished the entire Quran, and he's not even an Arabic-speaking person. Alhamdulillah. I mean, he's my second person that I did da'wah, and you know, alhamdulillah, I'll keep doing it, and this sticker will help me, inshallah.
The Prophet ﷺ, he told us that it's better for you than herd of red camels, which is something very beautiful to the Arabs of the desert, you know, that to help somebody get to Islam. I'm so pleased to hear you say that, because I've had such good results by putting this on. It doesn't say Islam, it doesn't say Quran, it doesn't say Bible. It just says worship the Creator, not the creation. That's a message I like to give to people, and I carry these. I'm going to show you if you're watching the TV right now. So I fold these like this way, and then I just stick them here in my pocket. Well, I got a mic in there right now, and then I put them in there. Then whenever I get up to the checkout if I go to a restaurant or a convenience store, gas station, then I can just pull one out real easy, and I tell the cashier or the waitress, whoever, I say, "I'd like to give you this little gift. Maybe do you have a car that you'd like to put it on?" They say, "Yeah." "What is it?" I says, "Worship the Creator, not the creation." They say, "Oh, I like that." And I said, "Check out the TV channel." And you'll be surprised how many of them have come to Islam that way. And that's what it's there for. That's what we're doing. We're asking Allah to accept that we are helping people find real Islam. So, Jazakallah khair, Abdul Noor, for calling. It's so good to hear your voice.
May Allah reward you, and yeah, thank you so much. I'll call you next time that you have Sheikh Ahmed on the TV. And Sheikh Yusuf, thank you so much for all you do. May Allah bless you. May Allah make this dunya easy for you and better akhir, inshallah.
For all of us, Ameen.
Jazakallah khair, Ahmed. Ma'a salama.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, he gave you salams too. MashaAllah. That's Abdul Noor. He's down in Jacksonville, Florida. Did he say Jacksonville, or did he say?
Gainesville.
Gainesville. No, yeah, he's in Gainesville. Jacksonville doesn't have that rain problem as much as they do in you know, I used to live there. I used to live in Florida, and in the summertime, you could just almost set your watch. It's like 2 something in the afternoon. It would just start pouring all over the place. Then it would shut off like somebody turned off the switch, and then it would get hot and sticky every day.
That's amazing.
You should have some of that rain out there in California. I think you got a little bit of rain, didn't you?
Yeah, we got a few days of rain actually on Eid day and the day following Eid, so it was very pleasant.
You see how Allah is? SubhanAllah, I love it. I just love the way Allah does stuff. Well, now, when we're talking about correcting other people, this in itself is worthy of, I think, more than a khutbah, more than a pamphlet. I think it's something, a lifetime study of how we deal with other people, because after all, if you stop and think about it, after our relationship with Allah, then the next most important thing is how do we deal with people, starting with Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and our parents and our relatives, our close relatives, and you know, it even goes all the way out to people we don't know in the street, you know, a wayfarer, somebody just passing by, a poor person, or an enemy even, that everybody has rights on us, you know.
يا حامل القرآن قد خصك الرحمن.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Peace and blessings be upon all of you. One of the aims of Islam is to create a society that peacefully coexists with one another. It is my firm belief that ignorance breeds fear. And if we want to get rid of ignorance, we have to educate. I appreciate what Guidance TV is doing, educating our public in order to be better informed so that we're not afraid of one another, so that we can all peacefully coexist. Get guided with Guidance TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. Guidance TV is doing amazing work and it needs your support. Running a satellite channel, running a TV station is not cheap. It takes money, it takes time, it takes commitment, and it is absolutely an obligation for you, all of you, to donate generously to help this amazing project. And don't forget, get guided with Guidance TV.
يا حامل القرآن قد خصك الرحمن بالفضل والتيجان.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's take this call. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum, Sadak.
Wa alaikum salam rahmatullah. Where are you calling from?
I'm Columbus, Ohio.
Okay. It says 718 area code. I thought that was New York, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a New York area code.
You stole somebody's phone in New York? No way. Do you have a question? Do you
Yes, I
have
do. I called a few weeks ago, before Ramadan, and I posted a question, but I think you guys forgot to answer the question. However, I have another one for Sheikh Ahmed.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to know whether it was permissible to give something that is not halal for me. Like, I went to the store, I bought something. When I got home, read the ingredients, realized that it wasn't halal because they had like some beef or beef meat product, and I gave it to one of my neighbors. And then I told someone about it. They told me that because it wasn't halal, I wasn't supposed to give it to the neighbor. So I wanted to know.
And that's a very good question. And that's it. You know what? That'll make you think, won't it? Let me ask you this question about that particular item itself. You said beef. I know pork, we wouldn't eat pork, but what would make the beef not be halal?
Well, I don't eat the beef from the store. I only eat the beef from the halal store. I only eat the zabiha. So.
Okay, that's a matter of preference, though. Obviously that's a matter of preference because you can't. I can't say that beef is haram. Maybe I don't want to eat it, but so you didn't. Well, let's ask Sheikh Ahmed. He's right there.
Well, that's what I feel that it's not halal for me. However, I get
I'm
the
like
way,
you, but
so
let's find out from an expert. Let's. Ahmed, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
What do you got for us on this topic?
Okay, so the question the sister asked is that she bought a product and she did not realize that it had some substances that she does not feel comfortable consuming, and it's a beef substance, but it's not necessarily slaughtered in the most preferred way of slaughter, which is the dhabiha or the kosher way of slaughter. So she decided to give this particular product to her neighbor or to someone else who may be in need, who doesn't follow, the same guidelines that she follows. There is nothing wrong with that. May Allah reward you for doing so. And if, in case you don't feel comfortable eating it, there is nothing wrong in giving it to someone else, because it still basically falls under the premise of being lawful. There is nothing unlawful about it. You're not, like Sheikh Yusuf said, you're not necessarily buying pork there or something that's explicitly and 100% known to be a forbidden substance for us to consume. So this thing is a matter that is doubtful, and it's an issue of preference. You following that opinion is completely valid, and gifting that item to someone else, whether a neighbor or someone in need, is very praiseworthy. It's considered a gift. It could be considered charity. You can consider it many different things with the proper intention. So I don't see what you did being wrong at all. May Allah reward you for what you did.
Okay, did he answer your question?
Yeah. So what is the product that had like pork, the gelatin?
That was what I was going to ask. I was going to ask the same. Okay, Sheikh Ahmed. What if it did have pork? Could she give it to a non-Muslim?
Well, if it did have pork, I would recommend that you return it, because you're not supposed to purchase anything that's forbidden. And you're not supposed to give it to non-Muslims either. So basically, I would say return it back to the store and buy something else, and you can give charity with that amount, but it's not good to give things that we don't consume to others.
So you wouldn't give them alcohol, and you wouldn't give them pork and stuff like that, right?
Definitely, we should not do that.
Okay, and you shouldn't be buying it to start with, right?
Yeah, so basically we have a principle in Islam which is based on a prophetic narration that whenever Allah, God Almighty, forbids an item, He also forbids its purchase and its consumption. A lot of people think that we're only forbidden from consuming intoxicants or pork products, but we're also forbidden from purchasing them or dealing with them in any type of transaction, whether buying or selling or gifting and so on and so forth. All these transactions related to illegal substances, according to our faith tradition, are forbidden for us. And we know that there's a narration about intoxicants. The Messenger said multiple categories of people will have a particular, curse from God Almighty if they decide to take part. It's the person who even plants the fruit and for the purpose of producing wine, the person who juices it, the person who makes it, the person who sells it, and so on and so forth. So you really want to stay away from anything that's explicitly forbidden. So we ask Allah to protect us from that and to purify our bodies and also our wealth from anything that He is not pleased with.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Jazakallah khair, Ahmed. Sister, did that answer your questions?
Yes, Jazakallah khair. May I ask a question that I asked before? Or?
Sure, go ahead.
Fine. Okay, the one that I asked before was right before Ramadan. I wanted to know if someone was receiving government assistance like food stamps and wanted to share whatever they had, because I know there are a lot of families that are getting government assistance, but they are sponsoring at the masjid. Is this permissible for someone to. And by the way, the family that I gave that food to, it was a husband and wife, and they had 7 children. They end up accepting Islam. So alhamdulillah for that.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Beautiful.
You know, look at this, Ahmed. Look at this, Ahmed. This is really this. Well, I'll talk to you in a minute. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I give him the gift. I actually send my son, my oldest son, to go down across the street to give him the gift. And then in return, I guess she saw me wearing the hijab and the abaya. She said she looked up, Islam or whatever. When she looked it up, then she saw that we didn't eat any pork products. So she went and bought us like halal, not halal, but kosher, some kind of chips. So she bought, because I gave her, it was cheese that I gave to her. So she came back and gave that to me. So we started talking, and I think it was on a Thursday or on a Monday. I happened to be fasting. Then she was like, "But I thought you guys only fast on Ramadan." I said, "Well, it's sunnah to fast on Mondays and Thursdays if you can." So because of that, we started conversing about Islam. She was giving me information, actually tried to convert me into Christianity, and I was giving her information with the help of my husband. Alhamdulillah, we went online, forwarding things back and forth. Alhamdulillah, one day they accepted Islam. Alhamdulillah.
Oh, sister, let me get in on some of this now. Next time you have anybody that wants to go to the internet for anything, we have a series, a network set up called Share Islam. Have you heard about it?
No, I recently just heard about, like, you guys. I recently just started watching this, the Guidus TV. This happened, this was in 2011, so alhamdulillah, it was a while back, so I didn't know anything about Guidus TV or anything.
Yeah,
so.
but it also is a good chance for me to tell everybody else that's watching too. So share, ShareIslam, Share Islam, one word, .com. You will be amazed at what's over there. And it's laid out in a way that's just so easy. Even if you're using your phone to access it, it's beautiful. It is amazing. A lot of people around the world helped me build this up over the last 15 years. So it's really it's an amazing thing. Okay, any other question? Did we?
Yes, that's my last question about the sponsoring with government assistance.
Yeah, what about that, Sheikh? I didn't hear the answer to that. If somebody,
I actually didn't get the question.
If somebody's getting government assistance, and when you do that, I think they actually tell you can't give it to somebody else. I think they say that, but I don't know.
Right.
So if they do, and that's a part of the condition, can you still give something to help somebody out if they're poor, if they're indigent, or if it's your neighbor, if you want to share something but you don't have anything but that food that you got that was paid for by the government or government food, whatever? What is that okay in Islam or no?
I mean, again, the idea is, I'm not sure about the legal aspect of it, if you're actually doing something against the law of the land by giving something that you were given to somebody else. But I don't necessarily see that as something wrong. I mean, Islamically, because it's your own property. Once the government gives it to you, it becomes your own property, and you can disperse it in whatever way you see fit. And from an Islamic perspective, if you see someone who's in need, then you definitely should share that stuff with them, especially if it's products that you don't feel comfortable consuming. So there is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Like we said, if anything, that's a form of charity, that's a form of being good to your neighbor, and you yourself saw the result of that. That was the startup of a conversation that eventually led up to these folks being interested in Islam and doing further research.
Yeah. So
as long as it's not something that you're going to get in trouble for legally, then I don't see any problem with it Islamically, because we believe that once you have position of wealth, it becomes yours. You can do whatever you wish to do with it. So then you're bound by the Islamic ruling, so you can't waste wealth, you can't throw it in the trash, and you can't, for example, waste it. So giving it to another human being is one of the best forms of charity and one of the best acts of worship. Feeding people food is one of the most beloved acts of worship to Allah. The Messenger, when he came to Medina, he told people, spread the greeting of divine protection called salam, feed people, and pray at night when people are sleeping. So that's one of the main good aspects of our religion, to feed others. So if you have the ability to do so, please do so, whether it's government assistance or not.
Yeah, but Sheikh, I think that there is something in the government assistance for food and so on, because I remember that somebody in our family was getting milk because they had had a new baby or something, and we were told that we were told that they're not supposed to give that milk to anybody else but to the mother and to the baby or whatever. But of course they did anyway. But we were told that that was I don't know. We should look into that. I think we better check on that because.
Well, like I said, I'm not an expert in the legal proceedings, so you would have to check with your local authority that gives the food assistance. Because I know every state and every department has their own regulations. So I would recommend that you check with them first and run it by them. A lot of times they'll tell you there may not be a problem with it, but definitely don't trick or fool the system. That's not something lawful in Islam. So you have to be honest, you have to be trustworthy, and you should not abuse, you know, people who are helping you. So that's again something to consider, and that's what I started my answer with.
Yeah. Well, all right. That we can look into that. Sister, any other question?
Yeah, one more. Speaking of being honest and the government, we realized also that a lot of people, because we had actually a sheikh or imam from a masjid did our taxes or wanted to do our tax, and he actually was doing, I don't know if I said it, but anyway, the way that he wanted to do it was not the right way. However, my husband said, no, we're not going to do it that way because that's not, you know, what the, you know, we didn't do it, but we just, if Imam Ahmed can elaborate a little on that, like far as like when whatever's not permissible, just sometimes people don't realize that, you know, if you're trying to get something that does not belong, like the government money, extra money, and you didn't work for it, is that halal or haram money? Like, can he elaborate a little on that, please?
Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't get that.
Yeah, if a person is going to do your income tax for you, and that person shows you some things that they think they can get away with that are not really right, it's kind of like cheating, then what should we tell them? Or how should we look at that? Because one of the things, I even heard this as a Christian, you know, hey, anything you can do to beat the tax man, you should do it, because it's not about Christianity or religion, it's about the dollars, and they're just going to waste it anyway. So I don't know. What do you think, Sheikh?
Okay, so again, we have principles that we go by. So our messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, told us that whoever cheats is not one of us. So deception, cheating, doing anything, kind of cutting corners and not being straight is not something that is permissible in our religion. And this is while dealing with people in our community or dealing with others outside our community or dealing with government or with the private sector. It's all the same. We have to be upfront and we have to be honest. Now, whenever it comes to taxes and issues of that, again, there's experts in that field. There's many ways for you to kind of, I don't want to say abuse the system, but you have to be aware of what's, you know, there for you. A lot of people are ignorant and they may not know what is available for them. So many times you can go to an expert and they can get you your tax returns and they can help you out fill in the, you know, whatever you need to fill in when it comes to your tax application. But you should not be cheating. There is no reason for that. And any type of wealth that comes through cheating will not have blessings in it. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And you definitely, I mean, regardless of whether this is legal or illegal Islamically, you don't want to get in trouble with the law. I mean, if you get caught, this is called tax evasion, and then you got a federal charge, and you can get in trouble for something silly for a few bucks that you think you're saving is going to actually come back and bite you in the backside, and you don't really want to do that. So stay clear of doing anything that can have the potential of making you look bad as an individual, and definitely you represent Islam, so also do not do anything that will misrepresent Islam, and then people will say, look, these Muslims abuse the system, these Muslims cheat others, and so on and so forth. This is not part of our religion. We do not cheat anyone, regardless of their faith tradition or what their authority or not, you know, whatever their role is. We have to be honest, we have to be trustworthy. That's one of the best things of actually sharing Islam through our character and through our behavior.
And we have to take a break. We got to take a break right now, guys. We'll be back. Sister, thank you so much for the call. Sheikh Ahmed, stay on the line with us now. We've got more coming up right here on Just Ask Islam and Get Guided with Guide Us TV.
يا حامل القرآن قد خصك الرحمن.
We'd all like to have the reward of someone entering into Islam, but we can't always be there. You can't always travel around with me, and I wish you could, but there is something you can do, and it travels around with you. That's to download the apps, and then you can support your favorite project. Yes, we do have the many websites, over 2,400. We have the free Quran and the CDs, the mail-outs of the Quran and the CDs. Also, the pamphlets, and, of course, our internet website, and our satellite television, and now the antennas. All of these things are available. We're making it free for everybody, and you can help me do that. You can support. You can support this project. It's called Donate for Islam. That's the name of it, and you can go to that website right there. See it? DonateForIslam.com. Support. Maybe you'd like to support the television channel. See the camera right there, right? Okay. So you'd click on that, and it will tell you how you can support by the minute. Whether it's an hour, half an hour, 15 minutes, support that. And you'll get the reward for all those who are watching it during that time. Thousands, hundreds of thousands, and even millions of people watching our programs, watching our channel, and coming to Islam. And you can be part of it. Join me, won't you, on DonateForIslam.com.
يا حامل القرآن قد خصك الرحمن بالفضل والتيجان.
And we're back. You're watching Guide Us TV's own Just Ask Islam program with Sheikh Ahmed. I'm your host, Yusuf Estes, and we're going to find out the answers to those questions that have been burning you to know. You've just been waiting for this chance all week, waiting for Monday night so you could call in and ask your question on Just Ask Islam. So pick up the phone right now, 1-800-651-4814. That's 1-800, toll free. You don't have to pay for it. 651-4814. And by the way, Sheikh Ahmed with us right now. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam.
I want to tell everybody how they can get this bumper sticker real easy. Isn't that a beautiful bumper sticker? How do you like that? That's cool, right? Okay. Now, it just says worship the Creator, not the creation. We already heard from someone just telling us today that that helps somebody get to Islam. And then we heard that somebody else giving some food help somebody get to Islam. I'm saying this is what we're all about. This is why we got the channel. This is what we're doing. We want people to know what's Islam. I want them to see it. I don't want them just to hear speeches and programs and movies and things that we do. I want them to see you be a good Muslim. You be the honest, straightforward person. You be the one who is ready to pick up the check whenever you take people out. You be the one who's ready to open the door for the lady with the packages. You be the one to pick up the stuff off the street or clean up something and make it easy for the other people. I want you to do that. Because if all of us will come together on that premise that, hey, we worship one God and we serve the people. We serve God and we serve the people. If we get this kind of a thing going, you know what's going to happen? People are going to change their mind. They're going to say CNN and that Foxy network are just not there for us. Let's take the call. Let's see who we got here. Assalamu alaikum. You're on the air. Where are you calling from? Hello? Okay. By the way, if you allow your children to play with the phones and they do that while we're on the air, we have to block them, okay? Because, yeah, you see there are some regulations in broadcasting in the United States, and one of them is if you suspect that somebody could say or do something bad on the phone and you put it on the air or in front of a mic or anything, you could be in trouble. So we have to be careful. All right, guys? So just so you know. And when you do call, please turn the volume of the TV down so that you won't be screeching and playing back through the phone, okay? If you don't mind. Right? Cool. Anyway, Sheikh, I was telling them all they got to do is make a note of this phone number right here. See that phone number? 41444. 41444. What do you need to know about that? Well, it's a text phone number. That's not a, don't call it and try to talk to it. 41444 is where you're going to send this text message. Send the word Islam, I-S-L-A-M. Doesn't have to be capitalized. You can be all lowercase, however you want to do it. But just text it to 41444. Can you do that? Now, some of you'd like to do something on a regular basis. You'd like to get involved and help out Guidance TV, and especially a new project that was not new. We've had it for a while, but we're focusing on it. That's new. And that is our children's programs. Our Aspirations program is now in the final stages of getting kicked off with the animation for the kids, with the puppets to keep their attraction, with the songs, with the fun stuff that we're going to do, and then with the shuyukh teachers who are going to come in with us and help us answer the kids' questions and help them so they can survive as a Muslim in this world, here in America. All right? So do that. And you can do it. Donate to Islam. That's DONATEISLAM. Donate Islam or donate to Islam, either one. We own both of them. But donate to Islam.com. That's not the number 2, by the way. That's T-O. Donate to Islam.com. If you do that, inshallah, God willing, you'll find that the rewards coming back to you and your family will be an amazing thing. Allah has told us already that He gives us what we have as a test. Whatever He gives us is a test. So when you get an opportunity to give it back to Allah, give it back to His deen, to His way, you're going to watch it grow. Test yourself. See if you can do that. Can you do that? Test yourself and find out. All right? We've got somebody that's calling from area code 612. I think you know who it is. And you need to tell your children, please, not to do this. Okay? This is one of the things we're talking about. Taking care of our relationship with people. Our own children should have good manners, and they should be under control, really. So if you got an 8 or 9-year-old child that's playing with a telephone, then that's not smart, is it? Be careful, because you don't know. They might get into something really bad, because they don't know. You got to be watching them, all right? I know it's easy for me to say that. My kids are grown, and those kids had kids, and they're grown. So I'm a great-grandfather now, and I can just hold those little sweethearts, and then whenever they start screaming or smell bad, give them back to mom. That right, Ahmed?
Yes, sir. Sure is.
You still got the little ones around there. You got 4 of them now. We're making dua for you to get some more, too.
Oh, thank you. That's so lovely.
Yeah. I'd like to see you have at least, 10?
Well, I would like you to pray for us to be responsible in raising the current ones up, because it's a huge responsibility.
Well, yeah, that is a big responsibility, but it's kind of fun along the way, too. Especially when they get up. When I met you, you were just college age at that stage. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
Was that your first year in college or second?
When you met me, oh wow. No, I had already left college, and I started pursuing Islamic studies at that time.
Not yet.
Well, locally, before traveling over. I had actually traveled already and came back when I met you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, to me, you were still a kid. I remember what I thought. I said, this guy, because I figured with that Texas accent, that California, Texas / California kind of an accent, I was thinking, this guy, when he speaks his Arabic, he's trying too hard to make it sound like he's an Arab.
I do remember that, all right.
But Abdullah, but what you were doing was correctly pronouncing a lot of the words that I'd used to hear, especially, well, I don't want to say, but the Gulf people would you know. Alhamdulillah. That's enough of that. Guys, if you want to call in, you've only got about 8-9 more minutes, and then we're going to have to wrap everything up. So if you'd like to give a call in right now, pick up the telephone and give us a call on 1-800-651-4814, 1-800-651-4814. We're ready to take your call, and Sheikh Ahmed is ready for you to give the answers. Let's see what we got here. Assalamu alaikum, caller. Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Yeah. Wa alaikum salam. You're on the air. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Toronto, Canada.
Toronto, Canada. Aha. Do you have a question for Sheikh Ahmed?
Yes. The question is actually to you too. I have an 80-years-old friend who is a very Christian, but she wants to know more about the Islamic, and she actually don't go too much of online. But I was wondering if you can send me a free Quran or a DVD about the Islamic, all the scholars, like for example Sheikh because she's so how the very Christian is. So if she can have that DVD, do I have to donate any donation to you first?
Actually, yeah, you have to donate some prayers to me. I want you to really pray for me. That's what I want. Okay?
Okay.
I need that. I don't need money. I need the prayers. This channel and all of our websites. We have 2,870 websites as of this morning. And we've got these television stations, and all of it belongs to Allah. Every bit of it, this is what they call a walk for a trust, something like that. So it survives because Allah wants it to. But for me personally, I need dua. So if you make dua, and I'll tell you how we can do this, I've got an idea for you. One thing that would really have, I think, a very important effect, an impact on the lady. I think if you would read to her, does she like to have company? Maybe you could spend maybe 30 minutes every day just reading Quran to her. What about that?
Okay.
Because let me tell you.
My friend, my good friend, she's more, how, I'm sorry to say, but how we African Americans in church, how they inquire. That kind of person she is. So now I was wondering if she have, similar to DVD like that she'll be into it,
Well,
she's always
we can do that. We can sure do that, but let me share some idea I have with you. I want us to be involved. As much as it's easy for me to pick one of these up, put it in an envelope, and send it out, do you know how much of an impact it would have? Somebody open it up and start reading, and they say, well, that was a nice person that sent me to this, but how about this? If somebody came to my house and said, can we sit together and I'll just read this to you, and just 10 or 20 minutes to read it to her, and then leave it there for her to read whenever she wants to. But when you come, just read, and I recommend to start with Surah Yusuf. Surah Yusuf, chapter 12,
yes.
And tell her that story, because this is a story that Christians are familiar with from Genesis, but it's very short compared to what's in here. It's a very long story in the Bible, but compared to the Quran has such a beautiful way, and it doesn't leave the subject. Where in the Bible it goes into the story of the rape of Dinah, and then it comes back to it. So if you read that to her, for instance, that has a good impact. Another one that she might like to hear, depending on, you'll know her better than me, but she might like to hear you read just some of the smaller surahs in the back of the Quran. They're very nice and something you could talk about together. Surah Ikhlas, Kul Huwallahu Ahad, or maybe even is the small, Asr, Inal Insan Lafi Khusr. If you'll read it, because it's all in English, this is no Arabic in here. And the reason for that is so that we can have, if people know Quran, but they want the meaning, it's right here. But this is very simple. You can give it to somebody. You don't have to worry about, is it the Quranic Arabic and stuff like that. All right.
Okay.
So here's what you do though. All right.
Okay.
You go to afreequran.com, and when you go to afreequran.com, order the Quran online, and then and have it sent to your house, not her house. Then whenever you get it, you just go to her house and say, "Listen, I got this. It came in the mail." And I wonder if we could sit and share together, and you could tell me what you think about this. And I think that's a much better way. You're going to have her attention. Then if she says, I would like to have some more stuff, yeah, that's interesting, then let's start giving her the stuff that she can do on her own. But I think in the beginning, if you control the conversation, you're going to be a lot better off.
Okay. I think that's a good idea. Thank you very, very much.
It worked for me and my father. I asked him to read the Quran to me while I was doing exercise one day, and he did it. And because he was a good reader, and I said, Dad, will you read this to me? Because I need to do two things at once. You do the reading, and I'll do the exercising. And it was Surah Baqarah. And he was enjoying it so much, just reading along, and pretty soon I realized, I got to stop. I can't keep it up. I can't do any more exercise.
Okay, if you say so, yes, of course I'll follow, because I like your Guidance TV, and I've seen your video too, so inshallah I'll do
All right.
everything.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much. MashaAllah. We've got another caller on the air. Salam alaikum, caller. Salam alaikum. Hello.
Alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam. Do you have a question? Do you have a question for Sheikh Ahmed? Hello? Hello? Same one again. So, this is not showing all of our audience. You're not showing our audience that we know how to, monitor our children. And this is something really that people notice when they find that you don't take charge of your family, you're maybe not even in the room with them. Guys, this is not the way. This is definitely not the way. No, you don't have anything more important than your family. You sit with them, be sure they're okay, keep an eye on them, and you might think it's all right, just let them play with the phone and call like that. But it shows the wrong message to the people, okay? Let's show the right message, okay? Give us a call. We got one last call that we can take, and then we'll be out of time. Sheikh Ahmed, it went by pretty fast tonight, didn't it?
It sure did.
Yeah, and you're comfortable there, you're relaxed, and everybody can see you. You're right here. By the way, somebody said something about you just being so still, you're hardly moving at all. They didn't even see you blink. It's almost,
that tells you how relaxed I am.
Yeah.
I've had so much fun during this show. I'm standing as still as an idol.
Okay, that's 1-800-651-4814. 1-800-651-4814. Give us a call. Assalamu alaikum, caller. Where are you calling from?
It's Ashab.
Okay, where are you calling from? Okay.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have a question.
Okay.
Why didn't Allah send messenger to teach physics, chemistry, and mathematics and biology?
Hold on one second. I'm calling Sheikh Ahmed back up. We got cut off. Hold on one second. Say your question
the person
again.
you are trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
Oops. All right. I don't know what happened.
My question is, why didn't Allah send messenger to teach physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology? Then the world would have progressed very rapidly.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know what the purpose of us even being in this universe is?
Yes, the purpose of our universe is to become more civilized.
Is that our purpose?
Yes, it is the purpose of our. That's what I think.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ask you what you think. I'm asking you from the point of view of Islam. What does Islam teach us that the only reason we're in the universe to start with is to do what?
To serve our fellow human beings.
Actually, no. We are here to do one thing only. Ibadallah. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Allah said you don't have any other purpose except to worship Allah on His terms. Included in that is to serve the human beings, but first and foremost is to obey God. Because we're all going to die, whether there's progress or no progress. If you live at the time of the pyramids or the camels, or at the time of the trains or planes, automobiles, or if you live in the future, all of it's still going to come back to the same thing. The only reason we're here is that you're going to have a life, and then you're going to be asked about what you did with your life. As far as technology and modern science and things like this, all of that's just a test. These are games, things that play, in your mind. You think that, oh, we need this, we need that. But what we really need is the peace in our hearts from knowing that we know what our purpose is, and we are trying our best to do it so that in the next life, which is the eternal life, that we'll have the beautiful way and not the hardship. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Allah is not an attention getter.
Well, okay, that's your opinion. MashaAllah. That's also the end of our program for tonight. And I just want to remind you that you can get guided right here on Guide Us TV. Stay tuned. We got more coming up. Assalamu alaikum.